Hello, Futurites. How you doing? It's been a while, hasn't it? Wow, we haven't spoken for a while, but here I am. You know, here for your pleasure. All things Arsenal. But while there's been a lot of news, surrounding the club the last few years, the last few days. Before I forget, don't forget to subscribe. Before I forget to tell you, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you've not done so already. Like all our videos, we've done what 100 and I think it's 158 videos. Like go back from the beginning, from last year summer when we started this channel. You can go through the whole of them and like them all, and leave your comments. We'll appreciate it. If you can share them, very nice. If you can't, no problem. But at least try and subscribe to the channel, please. We're trying to grow the channel. We need you. You're very essential to us, so we need you to help us to grow the channel, and of course like the videos as well. But yeah, without much ado, we're going to talk quickly about Arsenal's last games. We're going to talk about Edu, but that's for another stream, which we're going to post up later on. But we have to go all the way back to what was it, last week Wednesday, when we played against Preston in the Carabao Cup. Of course, we won 3-0 away. Nwaneri scored a masterful goal. Excellent goal he scored. I think that was the second goal he scored, and Carabao scored a third, and I think Gabriel Jesus scored the first goal. His first goal for a while as well, and he hasn't been playing well for a long time, but he's had injuries. It's a fair play. But I was one who didn't want Gabriel Jesus at the club because he lacks that killer instinct. Well, anyway, we'll talk about sometime down the line. But we won 3-0. So this is just a quick review of the Carabao Cup against Preston. The 3-0 win last week against Preston, up in the northeast where Preston are based, and it was a very good game. We controlled the game, so there's not much to say about it because we controlled the game, and we won 3-0, kept a clean sheet. A lot of youngsters were playing. Our goalkeeper with the eight, is he 18 or 16? He's very young, I know that. He played in goal for us. Hickory, whatever his name. I really should know the names, but we have so many young players, and sometimes you lose the names. But we're gonna get to a stage where we're gonna we're gonna properly remember the names. But yes, and then we had Lewis Kelly who played, but really the star of the show, even amongst our more established players, was Nwaneri. Scored a masterful goal, played really well, and of course there's calls for him to start games for us from the Arsenal faithful all around the world. You want to go into social media, or go into Instagram, Facebook, YouTube and so on, and you're going to see a lot of people saying that he should be starting. In Martin Odegaard's absence, he should have been starting in that number 10 role, but instead Arteta is vouched to play Trossard there instead, and Trossard is a bit hit and miss. Trossard is more of an impact player, as many of you have said and many of you know. He's like our 12th man, if you like. He's best starting from off the bench and coming on to impact games and to change the direction of games, rather than starting him in the first 11 and he doesn't seem to do much. He seems to be very non-existent. So he's more of an impact player. It's a bit like back in the day, if you remember, for those of you who are old enough to remember, when Man United had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who used to always come in and score for Man United and win Man United some important games, including that Champions League final against Bayern Munich in Barcelona in 1999. And there's been other super subs come on, and back in the 70s there was a guy called David Fairclough who played for Liverpool, a ginger guy. And I didn't remember watching him, but I remember when I was a kid growing up, people used to talk about him being a super sub. Old Liverpool fans from those times. So yeah, but so he's becoming a bit like that for us, Trossard. So I think because we're stretched, fair enough, our squad was stretched, and he's been on the bench, and Arteta, seen fit to actually bring him off the bench in the second half, like he did against Aston Villa, and he scored anyway. He didn't do his usual goggle celebration. He just walked up like that, stern-faced, if to say that he should be playing. And he hasn't really, he's not like he's an Arsenal legend. He's not like he's a legendary player who's come we bought to the club, and he's got like a lot of, how can I say this now, he's got a lot of credit in the bank. He's a good player. He's done a decent job at Brighton. He was okay. I think he played for Genk, if I'm not mistaken, in Belgium, because he's from Belgium, and he played for Genk. But he's never really been. He's not someone like a. He's not Pires, is he? He's not a Bergkamp. Definitely not a Bergkamp. He's not a Cantona. He's not got that history behind him. You could say, okay, then fair enough. He's coming to our team. and we could start him. Whenever we start him, he doesn't seem to do much. You know, he's a good player. He's a baller. He's a good player, but he's not. I think, and I've heard other fans, other Arsenal fans say that. I think, and some of them have said he thinks he's better than he actually is. You know, and so he needs to be humble and hold bench if he has to hold. But he's never played for a club of our size, so he should just be thankful. And that, yes, he's got that killer knack of scoring goals, but he always does it when he comes off the bench. Anyway, so everyone's talking about this new sensation, Nwaneri, and from, of course, Nigerian parentage, and he looks the business, but we don't seem to want to try him in those bigger games. Arteta doesn't seem to trust him in those bigger games. He seems to only trust him in the Carabao Cup when we're playing against lesser opposition. Now we're playing against Crystal Palace at the Emirates. I think it's is it 2 legs? I think it's 2 legs, isn't it? Because I think it's the quarterfinals. I've got to check. I'm not sure if it's 2. I think it's 2 legs. But I'm sure that he might play in the home game. He might not play in the away game, but he might play in the home game. And anyway, we brought him off the bench. We're going to talk about this match afterwards as well, the review of the Newcastle game. So we leave that for then. But he came off the bench in that game as well. So I think maybe it's getting to a stage where Arteta's starting to sort of like feel him out more and starting to give him, you know, bits of experience in games that are vitally essential, like in the Premier League games, for example. You know, like against Newcastle when he came off the bench. But he might not play him against the Liverpool, for say, or against the Manchester City, or against even a Chelsea or Manchester United. You know, he's easing him in. But I think you never know. Maybe by next season, he may even come in and start some games for us against some of the lower, you know, teams in the lower division, division. Like, for example, say I don't know, a Nottingham Forest, someone like that, or maybe even a Bournemouth, etc. So we'll see how that goes. But I think there's coming a time where the fans are going to be calling for him to start, and especially if we don't go into the market and address that area. I know we've been linked with people like Wirtz, Florian Wirtz at Leverkusen. You know, he played against Liverpool last night and they lost 4-0. They got hammered 4-0 at Anfield in the Champions League. So if we're linked with him, and if we don't get guys like him in, even Musiala, who's linked with us as well, but also linked with Manchester City, and we're going to be doing a stream about that very soon, about some of the players we're linked with. I'm not sure if they're going to move in January, but we're going to look at some of those. As January's looming, we've only got another couple of, just under a couple of months to go. We're going to be looking who we might be signing. And of course, Victor Gokras scored a hat-trick last night against Manchester City. And so we're going to be looking at some of these guys who we were linked with and who could be a possibility Arsenal signings. So anyway, thank you so much for your attention. And it's just a quick review, just a quick, you know, quick chat, a quick chin rag. And yeah, we won 3-0, through to the next round against Crystal Palace. And I might go to the home leg. And if I go to the home leg, I'll definitely do a fan cam. And I might even try and interview a couple of fans as well, and then try to kick it up that way, because we want to grow the channel. As I said, this is a fan channel, so we're going to expect these things to happen. Occasionally, when we go to games or if we go around the Emirates, we're going to be looking into, you know, interviewing some fans about games, about matches, same thing really, and about, you know, players as well, and about the history, some of the history of the club and the future of the club. So look out for some of those things here and there, you know. And then when we really grow the channel, and when we get tens of thousands of subscribers and followers, and we've got a lot of big plans, but I won't reveal it here because some of them might steal my plan. But you're gonna see we've got some massive plans for this channel, but we need you to help us to grow it. So you take care of yourselves. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the videos. Go back in history, the last 18 months since we set the channel up. You might like some of the older videos from that time coming up to this time. Whatever you like, just leave your comment and we'll always read it out and reply to you as soon as we can. Take care of yourselves and see you later. Adios.